Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome to my fourth and final card for my video series about PanPastels. Today I'm using Sheltering Tree and 4 different colors of green and some brown to create this card today. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some Versamark ink, which I've pretty much done on all these cards, and stamp my tree onto some Nina Solar white cardstock. This is raw umber, and I'm just going to tap it with my finger and go over this tree. Now I'm going to use a very, very light hand because I don't want it to get too dark beyond the lines of the tree. So I'm going to speed this up here, and I'm going to go up the tree, but not all the way to the tips, because when you think about it, when you look at a tree, you could see the branches kind of closer to the base and a little bit up, but not too far up. Now for the trunk, I'm just going to wipe off my applicator, and that's the beauty of these applicators. It looks like there's color on there, but there's really not. So I'm going to use this soft applicator, and you can see that it applies differently than it applies with my finger. So it goes on much smoother and softer, and these are called soft tools. So they're appropriately named. Anyway, so I'm going to go up a few of these branches here just to darken them up a little bit. And the thing is, with my finger, it was a little too fat and I was getting outside the lines, and that's why I decided to start using this applicator. But even with the applicator, I'm getting a little bit out the lines, but that's not really a big deal because I can just erase it like I'm doing here. I'm going to leave the brown in between the branches just because you're still going to get some shadow inside the tree. Now it's time for the leaves. I'm going to ink that up with some Versamark and stamp that. And for the leaves, I'm going to use 3 different colors of green. I'm going to start with this brightish green. It's the darkest one I have. And I'm going to color the leaves that are closest to the center of the tree. I could have used an applicator, but you get more pastel on the actual cardstock when you use the applicator. So I feel like I get a little bit more control with my finger. So I'm going back and forth between these 3 greens, but you'll notice that I'm really trying to get them a little bit darker toward the center of the tree and lighter as I move out to the edge. But I'm going back and adding a little bit more of that middle green just to make the leaves stand out a little bit more. I love the kind of mellow look that this is giving by getting kind of a halo around the tree, because the cardstock is going to take some of the color of these pastels. I did, however, get some color kind of at the bottom of the tree where the branches are, and so I'm going to just take my eraser, and that is one of the things that I love about these pastels is that you can erase them. I also noticed that my halo was a little wide on the right hand side, but I knew that if I used my eraser I'd get kind of a hard line there, and I didn't want that. So I went ahead and erased it, and then I'm going to take my finger and dip it into the lightest. It's like a green yellow. And I'm just going to lightly go over that area, and it blended out my white line just fine. So now it looks great. Okay, so the next step is to do the bottom grass, again stamping it with some Versamark ink. And I'm bringing in the darkest green from the leaves, that's the middle color there. And then I also added another green that's more of an olive color, and I'm going to mix these 2 greens for the grass because I did want it to be a little bit darker than the leaves of the tree. And then I decided I wasn't getting the softness that I really liked with that applicator, so I grabbed my applicator, and you can see the difference, how it really fills it in quite a bit. And soft is like the best word I can use to describe it. So I combined these 2 green colors, and then I thought it was a little bit too dark. So I grabbed the yellow green that I used in the leaves, and I just tapped my applicator with that, and I didn't even clean it because these don't contaminate easily. And I just went over it to highlight it, especially on the right side toward the top, like where the sun might be hitting it. So by putting that light color on the right hand side, I'm going to put a shadow on the left side of the tree, so just added a little bit of this raw umber to my applicator and just kind of brushed it in, starting at the base of the tree and coming toward me in the left a little bit. And then I kind of extended my pastels over the left a little bit past the stamp. It's kind of hard to tell where the stamp is since it's stamped in Versamark, but not a big deal. I just erased it and fixed that. So what I'm going to do is trim this out 1/16 of an inch on all sides. And then I'm going to take my tape runner and adhere this to a piece of chocolate chip cardstock. It's more of a lighter brown color by Stampin' Up. And then I'll adhere this to a Nina Solar white card base, which I think my chocolate chip was a little short. It was in my files, so it probably just wasn't cut right. So I just took a scissor and I just cut the base a little bit to even it up. And then for the inside, I wanted to leave the outside just plain because it just looks so peaceful. And I thought this was a really good thinking of you because it does look like you're sort of peaceful and thinking on the outside. And this could also be used as a sympathy card too. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this installment of the PanPastels series and that you enjoyed the whole series. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.